Car accident? Don't worry. Call Fakuri. BestInjuryCare.com.
All right, 26 minutes before 8 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Monday morning. It is the first day of school since schools were closed because of the hurricane, and schools were closed for a variety of reasons. One of them to keep the children safe, of course. And the schools were being used as shelters, so that had to be part of what they were doing. And then after the storm, there was so much cleanup necessary. I think power wasn't available in all of the schools, so it was just a very smart move on the part of our school board to close the schools. And Dr. Heidi Mayer is doing a great job in her position, posting regularly about the progress during the past week, as has our mayor. Mayor Kent Guinn has been posting on his Facebook page information that let us know that he wasn't sitting back and just letting it all happen by itself. He was out there with the volunteers and the rescue workers, so I was so proud of him, and he's in the studio this morning. I've always loved you, and you're such a great representative for this city. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
Good to see you again. How did you fare during the storm?
We fared all right. We didn't have any damage to our home, which was great.
Yeah.
We were okay. You know, back in 2004, I had a tree hit my car while I was driving
really?
around with my
While you were driving?
While I was driving.
Oh,
yeah,
my
we're about
gosh.
Fort King. So my chief of police told me, do not do that again.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
So I did not do that. And so I'm fine. And so, you know, when did the storm even come through? I've lost track of days. Was it Saturday
Sunday
morning?
Sunday night, right?
Yeah, it was Sunday night.
Sunday night.
Yeah,
okay.
Sunday night.
Yeah. And so the next day we just got up and started, you know, helping people and getting out and got going. I mean, I don't think I shaved for 5 days.
Probably not, because you're always in the thick of things
Yeah.
to look after our community.
You should have posted a picture. How'd you look after 5 days?
Pretty rough.
Yeah?
Pretty rough.
I bet you look good with a beard.
Yeah.
Yeah?
But one thing I did want to say, just kind of an update, you know, for people. I just got an email from John Zobler at 5 o'clock this morning. He said there were 371 without power on OEU right now. And today at the Kroski Center with Red Cross, we're going to feed 500 people at noon, and we're going to feed 1,000 people at 6 o'clock
Wow.
this
Oh,
evening.
my gosh.
Yeah, we're not out of the woods yet.
No, and we've got 26 more people, more linemen coming from Tallahassee today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those guys are amazing, too.
Yeah, they are.
We've had a couple of, or maybe you can share some if you have some, organized, like, thank you dinners and things like that. There was one, DeLuca Toyota was doing one, and a couple of other volunteer
In
groups.
Citrus County, too.
Citrus County had
really?
some,
Doing a
yeah.
big thank you dinner.
Yeah, I mean, I've thought about that. I mean, if there are, you know, dinners going on, you know, around just to thank the linemen, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and I was thinking about this today. I was going to call Sue Mosley, and I know we have them, I think the utility trucks in the Christmas parade.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys in the Christmas parade this year
Yes.
would be awesome.
Oh, that's a
yeah.
wonderful idea.
Yeah, there
Oh,
would be
that
a
is
lot
a
of
great
applause
idea.
as they come
Yeah.
through.
Oh, my gosh,
Absolutely.
yeah.
We made it a point, and I hope a lot of Ocalans did. We saw them parked at Walmart, and they looked like they were exhausted. They were taking a break and putting their feet up on their dashboards. I mean, their trucks are their homes.
Right.
And so we just said, don't mean to bother you, but I just wanted to thank you for coming down. Where are you from? And they would tell us North Carolina, Ohio,
Alabama.
all over the
Yeah.
place.
Yeah, Denton, Texas came down. I called the mayor of Denton, Texas, and, you know, told him I appreciate, you know, your guys coming down, and I'll take some pictures of them and send them back to him, which I did. So hopefully they'll make the newspaper up there, because I'm sure the people in Denton, Texas would love to see their family members, you know, down here in Florida working.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. You know, the things that those guys do, I mean, some people kind of forget that when they leave their homes, they don't have power either. And I put this on Facebook. I talked to one of our linemen. He was talking about siphoning gas out of his pickup truck to put in his generator so his family could have his generator running while he went
Oh,
and
my
helped
gosh.
other people
Really?
get their power on. So we made some arrangements through the city for our employees to get gas during this time.
Wow.
So they wouldn't have to do that.
Oh, how wonderful.
So yeah, we were able to do that. So it was good. But yeah, I mean, the sacrifice that these guys make, first responders, fire, all of them, It's just amazing.
Today, the debris pickup begins.
Yes.
And the information is that it's not going to be overnight. What are your thoughts on that, and how long should we expect? And we need to be patient, obviously.
We do. I mean, that's going to take, gosh, it could probably take a month to 2 months.
Yeah, that's what
literally.
I saw. Yeah.
I mean, it's if
This
you
will just
drive around. I drove around Saturday with FL Brown, northwest part of town. It's just hard to believe. I mean, like 8 feet high debris.
I know.
On the
It's
sides of the
unbelievable.
road.
Yeah, yeah.
Huge trees.
And people are putting out their what used to be their rooms or their homes if
Right.
the home was totally destroyed. You
Right.
see whole houses on the street.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable. How far? I mean, have you gone on the citywide tour so far and looked at a bunch of stuff?
No, we probably will. Probably this week or this weekend to see some of it. I know I was going to do that with Preston Boland. Preston was going to take me around and show me some of that. You know, the other thing I'm looking at is this Maria hurricane.
Yes.
It's
yeah.
kind of on the excuse me, kind of on the same track
Same track. Yeah.
as this one, as Irma. And you know, for those of us that have been around for a while, if you remember Francis and Jean,
Oh, yeah.
those were
That was
you know,
2004, right?
two storms, 2004.
Yeah.
Two storms back to back within 2 weeks of each other.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember
and,
that.
And I hope history doesn't repeat itself.
Right, right.
Yeah, I know. So, what is the state of the city as a result? What is your impression of the response to the call for evacuations and everything? It seems like that is one of the main reasons we didn't have a loss of life. We had two fatalities in Marion County, and both of them were traffic light intersection related.
Right.
Right.
Yes. Well, you know, we were at the EOC at the sheriff's office, and I heard the highway patrol officer talk about to make sure people understood that when you got to a light that wasn't working, to treat it as a four-way stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boy, driving around, people did not do that.
I know.
You had to be so careful, especially if you're on the boulevard. You know, the people on the boulevard, you know, had the right of way, so they just kept going. I would stop. I think others around me, most of them would stop, but many people just kept going.
Yeah, well, it just takes
Very
one,
dangerous.
you know, to make an accident, and in the dark, because I drive to work in the dark.
Right.
It was almost like I drive this road every day.
Right.
And I'm thinking, oh gosh, where are the lights? You know.
Right.
And I saw there was a garbage truck on the road, so I made sure that I was behind him because he seemed to know where all of the stops were. Yeah.
They did.
So he was my pace car. Yeah.
You know, I rode with them the other day. The clamshell, not the clamshell, but the side loader garbage truck. Rode with a guy named Big Mike, and we did it. He showed me how to do the side loader to bring it up and grab the can and do all that.
Well, with
So
the unshaven face, you fit right in, probably.
Right.
that was pre-hurricane, but no, it's. I think he makes 1,000 stops. 1,000 stops on his
Wow.
route.
Oh, my
so yeah,
gosh.
if you get behind the garbage truck, yes, they didn't know where they're going.
They know the roads, yeah. How do you deal with this as far as public relations go? I mean, did you find that the people pretty much were calm, or did you find yourself having to talk? And were the elderly in a different
Yeah.
place than the younger people?
Well, I guess a few things. I've always made my cell phone number available. If you call Jackie, my assistant, who makes everything happen for me,
She's
if it were not
wonderful.
for her, a lot of the things that get done would not
Right,
get done.
right.
But so if you call City Hall and say I need to get in touch with the mayor, she just transfers you to my cell phone, and everybody's got my cell phone. Yeah, I mean, people were calling me and say, hey, I'm going on the outage map, and it shows that I've got power, but I don't. And that was, shouldn't say a lot, but there were quite a number of people that had that problem. But for the most part, I mean, people were patient. We had a few nights there early on that were nice and cool. You could open your windows. It was in the 70s, and it was pretty comfortable.
Yeah, very comfortable.
Later on, it got a little muggy, and
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's when people started really calling. And you your patience kind of wears out after several days. And I think mine came on like Thursday night around 10 o'clock. But and I told a reporter that called me. I said, I should be one of the last ones to get my power on. I said I'm more concerned about everybody else's power than mine. I mean, I've been through been through it in Francis, and I think my power was out 10 days then. So, but one of the things I talked about this the other day at church. My pastor Mark Cummins, I go to Church of Hope. Kathy Bryant, Commissioner Bryant, and I, talked about the response and things that went on, and Church of Hope became a special needs shelter, Department of Health, and we took in. You were talking about the elderly. We took in some of those and cared for them and did all those things. But as you know, I think you guys know it better than probably anybody. You know what kind of a compassionate, caring community we are. Right? Yeah. I mean, you see it all the time. So people said, well, did this surprise you? It's like, no, it didn't surprise me. It just highlighted everything, that our community, believes in and stands for. I mean, there's probably thousands of stories out there of people helping people. I'll give you one. A lady called me. She said, my mom and dad don't have power, and they need your help. They're on insulin, and it's warming up, and they don't even have a generator, so they can't afford a generator. They lived out in Silver Spring Shores, and then the son called Jackie at City Hall, and Jackie was telling me about it, and I said, this sounds familiar. I said, what's the address? And she gave me the address. I said, oh yeah, that's the same one. So I called the son, and he told me, he said, for me, I'm okay, but it's my mom and dad, and I want them to be comfortable. Social media is the most amazing thing, and I'm learning how to use it more and more. But I put that on Facebook at probably 9 o'clock at night. I'd stop by City Hall to do some paperwork, and in 2 minutes, there were comment after comment. I'll help.
Yeah. Wow.
So Alan Curry, he's a plumbing contractor here. He and his son, Alan's actually out of town. His son, Zach, called these people, got a generator out there, brought the extension cords, and got them all set up that next morning. And about a day and a half, the young man called me, and he said, we got power. We're good.
Oh my God!
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Lots and lots of stories like that. People providing meals and just washing clothes, everything.
The role that everybody plays. You mentioned social media, and the role that everybody plays in putting out the word that somebody needs help.
Right.
Is just as important as the people who say I can help. You know.
Oh, absolutely.
It was amazing, really, wasn't it? That we had no electricity and the internet was down, but everybody had Facebook.
Yeah, exactly.
It was weird.
Where were they? Yeah.
So I was seeing your announcements on Facebook. I had no internet, but I have that. What do you call that data thing? Whatever it is that uses
on the cell phone.
That doesn't use the whatever. I don't know how it works, but it works.
Right.
And that was the cool thing. I could see your posts and I could see the photos you were posting, and it was clear that you were out and about and trying to do whatever a person can do, and a person in a leadership position as yourself. We look to you. We say there's a lot on your shoulders in a time like that.
Well, one gentleman sent me a very nice gentleman, and sent me an email. He said, I've read the Star Banner for four days in a row. I've not seen you any word of you being out doing anything.
What?
Said, I don't know. Well, but wait a minute.
What?
But he said, I don't think that's a good move and everything for you. And I wrote him back, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh!
Everywhere.
Wait a minute.
But he said, and I told him, I said, and no disrespect to the Star Banner, I said, just because it's not in the Star Banner doesn't mean that it didn't happen, And so I told him some of the things, or not. I didn't tell him, but so I shared with him a post from someone who was thanking me for some of the things that I had done. And he said, my apologies. He said the fact that you responded to me, or you're concerned about my email, says that you care.
Right.
And then we talked about a couple of things. And I said, so one of the things that I really believe in, two things, is one that if you're doing something, you're doing it for the right reason. The only two people that need to know about it is you and the person you did it for.
Exactly.
And then the other is, it doesn't matter who gets credit for the job. The only thing that's important is that it gets done.
Yeah, right.
And so, I try to live by those two principles. But at the same time, being an elected official, you actually have to let people know that, hey, I actually am working.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You're not
right.
doing it to pat yourself on the back. You're just letting people know, hey, I'm out here and I'm helping and I'm working and doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
There was somebody who posted something really complimentary. It was toward the beginning of the storm, and I responded to it. And I think it was on your page. I can't find it now. But I mean, and the guy wrote me back. He said he said, hey, would it be possible, because he knows that we're Robin and the Giant. He said, would it be possible for Robin and the Giant to read it live on the air? Because we don't refer to ourselves by that name that we used to
Right.
have.
Sure.
So anyway, it was kind of cool, and we read his letter on the air, and it was such a nice complimentary letter about what you were doing and what other city workers were doing. I'm
Yeah,
scrolling.
very complimentary.
I can't remember it was early on in the storm anyway, so
Right.
hopefully you saw it, because
Was it Dr. McIntosh?
I don't remember. I honestly don't
He wrote
remember.
it real nice.
But look at all these photos. I'm looking at all these photos of you helping out here.
You're always in the thick of things, Mayor. Even when there's a disaster, you're always there. When there's any kind of community event, no matter what the race or religion of people are,
Right.
you're everywhere in the community. And you don't do a big fanfare like, look at me, here I am, this
Right.
is where I'm going to be today.
Right,
You're
right.
you take care of everybody's needs and wants. And
Sure.
you do a marvelous job.
Well, I thank you. I appreciate that. And, one of the things we're going to do again in, I think it's March or April, is the Holocaust Remembrance Week. And now Debbie Callahan went and moved on us.
Oh.
So she's not here.
Wow,
So I'm trying to talk her into flying back just for that and
Oh,
help me out.
Okay, yeah.
Or at least over the phone.
Yeah.
So, we'll be doing that.
No, it's absolutely marvelous to keep.
Well, the
memory
same with you.
alive.
I mean, I see the two of you out, many places that I go. I know we went to a Special Olympics event not too awfully long ago out at Forest High School. And I saw you guys out there, working in that. And so, but again, I mean, that's what we do as a community. We just help each other out. We're involved.
You know what I always hope? I always hope that we're not special. I always hope that we are actually the common person in America.
Right.
And the common city. You like to say, gosh, Ocala is so giving, and it is.
Right.
But I'm hoping that's not unusual. I'm hoping every city feels that way.
Yeah, we feel that our community's special, obviously. But when I travel around, go to the U.S. Conference of Mayors, and I talk to some of these other mayors in some of these cities, you're right. It's not. It is common. I see some of these mayors from some of these large cities. Marty Walsh from Boston. I've gotten to know, and Eric Garcetti from L.A. You hear all these stories about their communities coming together. I mean, people care about each other. You might not see it in the news, but people do actually.
And that's
care
the
for
problem.
each
The
other.
news is
You just don't know about it. You just don't see it in the news.
the news is. I mean, Ocala is not what the news portrays America to be. That's what
Right.
I know.
Oh,
And
absolutely
I can't talk
not.
of all America. I can only talk of the city I live in.
Right.
I don't see racial strife here. That's not to say there isn't some.
Right.
But I don't see it like the news portrays it, and I don't see anti-Semitic happening everywhere here. It probably happens. I'm sure Rabbi Hecht has his share of it.
Right.
Especially looking like a rabbi. When you look like a rabbi, you probably get a few. But I mean, I don't know that it's. The news makes it out bigger than it really is. You know,
Right.
I remember when I was a kid. I moved to Marion County when I was 17. My family moved here from New York, and there was an article in a magazine set that was titled "The Rural South," and it showed these pictures of shacks, rundown shacks, and it said Ocala, Florida. And one of my friends said, "This is where you're moving to." I said, "Oh my gosh, what?" And what it is the news media has the ability to show you one picture or two pictures and make it seem like this represents the whole thing. You could do the same thing in reverse. You could say, this is Ocala. You could show a mansion, or you could show, a beautiful piece of property.
Absolutely.
And say, this is everywhere, but it's not.
Right.
It's
Well, I told you I went around with F.L. Brown Saturday. We'd had a little cookout, and a lot of people came in the evening and had hamburgers and hot dogs over at his place. But he took me around. There were about 6 churches in West Ocala that were doing a food drive and getting food to people that needed food, and helped a lady get her meter box fixed back up. There was an electrician she was working with, but yeah, I mean everybody. hey, Mayor, how are you? It's amazing. I mean, I was went to a speech the other day we were doing over at the Krosky Center, and there were probably 7 or 8 young men over there playing basketball, and they said, "Hey, there's the mayor."
It's kind of cool. You're like a
I
celebrity.
went over and spoke to them, and they were just playing a game of basketball. But yeah, that's very humbling for me, for people to actually recognize you. That's just, I still can't. After 6 years, I still can't get over that people know who you are.
Yeah, whatever campaigning you were trying to do, not to bring the election tomorrow into it, but whatever campaign, you had to put that all on the back burner in order to address the needs at hand.
Yeah, I mean, I said that. I said that campaign on Sunday morning when that hurricane hit was over with. That's
Right.
put on the back burner.
Yeah.
As was everyone. Everyone was just laser focused on the hurricane, helping people. And I put some signs up yesterday, and so but yeah, I mean, and I felt guilty about even doing that, but but we do have an election tomorrow, so. But anyway, so no, I love the job, love helping people, and that's what it's about.
And you do have a great group of people that you oversee. You're not just their boss, but you're their friend, the public information officers from the city and the county. They did such a fabulous job keeping us abreast as the media as to what was going on. You came up first when the hurricane was knowing that it was going to hit, trying to encourage people to prepare so there wouldn't be this last minute run and all of this hecticness. And
Right.
you did a marvelous job with that because the people listened to what you said.
Right.
And everybody toward the weekend was totally prepared with water and food and everything.
Well, one of the things, I was talking to another radio station, and I was, and as you know, remember how it was going to go one way and it kind of went another?
Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody looked at those pictures of what was happening down in Key West and South Florida and the Caribbean, and you just in your mind you imagined that here.
Yes.
And so
yes.
I kept going, you need to take this serious.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
very,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
serious. Then it moved, and it wasn't as bad as what we thought it was going to be. But I was telling people you better take
Yeah.
this
We-
serious.
it's
Don't fool
a
around with it.
it's
err on the side of caution. Be prepared.
Absolutely, yeah. That's the way we approached it too, as radio broadcasters. So, in the end, if there's some kind of a way to thank all the people who have helped, we want to make sure you are thanked. A lot of times, the guy at the top is the guy doing the thanking.
Right.
So the community will represent the community right now. Thank you for what you did. You were there. We saw you on Facebook, and if you went to your Facebook page right now, you see the history line or the timeline, whatever they call it.
Yes.
I
So
just
thank
posted
you.
something when I was sitting out there that we're down to
I saw that.
371.
I saw that as a matter of fact.
People
Yeah.
without power.
And that's really phenomenal because there were thousands out. I mean, 100,000 in the whole county. And, the city was tens of thousands. And it was really amazing.
I think we had when we began somewhere in the neighborhood of 56 to 58,000 people that did not have power when that began.
And
Wow,
to
wow.
get all of that done in this short amount of time is really incredible.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And those linemen are just, I can't say enough good things about them. I mean, I really can't.
Yeah, they are fabulous.
I hear stories of some of them. I was out, on Saturday, and they were saying, they would go somewhere and they would come rolling up, and people were offering them water, food, just everything. Just
Yeah,
thanking
yeah.
them profusely, for being
Yeah.
there and getting their power on. So it's, they're
And the-
amazing.
And the police had to step up to the
Well-
effort. I mean, the next morning, I saw them out there stopping people from driving over power lines.
Right.
So
Yeah, we had, and just, our police department, which that's, one of my main jobs is oversee the police department. And Chief Graham had 56 people out during the day and 52 out at night. So typically, or normally we have 15 officers
is that right? Wow,
during
big
a
difference.
shift. So you can imagine we had, 3 times that or more.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was, it was pretty amazing. I mean, those guys, they were working 16-hour shifts.
Mayor, thank you for coming in. We're glad you're safe. We're glad you didn't drive around and get hit by another tree. And good luck tomorrow. We're rooting for you. So
I appreciate it.
and let us know if Maria is coming our way. We'll be turning to you again to find
I'll
out.
let you know.
What's the story now? What do we do now? Let's pray that it doesn't come our way. Mayor Ken Guinn, thank you for taking some time to be with us
All
this
right.
morning.
Thank you, Larry.
All right,
Robert.
we will be right back. This is WOCA, The Source.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Maybe a shower today, otherwise partly sunny skies, a high of 86 to 90, and a few clouds tonight with temperatures dropping around 66 to 73. Stray shower near the coast tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny otherwise, a high of 87 to 91, and we look dry Wednesday, high 88 to 91. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Maggie Johnson.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages.
Fox News Radio. I'm Lillian Wu. More than 80